away kind of game. That was supposed to be a solid victory for TSM, and it wasn't. Now we are actually heading into another game that is almost of sort of a similar quality. It feels like. I mean, NiP, they're gonna have to really show up here, and KRIMZ already shutting down friberg, spotting a second player and even a third before he dies. JW with a frag on Forest as well, and it's looking good right here for Fnatic. But Xizt will come back into it. The bomb is actually at the B bomb site here, and Olof in the back line's already very low on health. Get right covering Checkered, but backup is coming in from flusha.
Yeah, and flusha. I mean, now Get Right heard that. He heard the vent get shot. He's going to slow things down a little bit. They're going to slow down the pace. Fnatic, they want to take advantage of the man advantage that they have, but they're getting dinked down to no HP. Oh, man, Dennis is down on 2 already. Olofmeister down to 23, and it's going to be down to Dennis now to get the job done, and Get Right is not going to allow it. 3 kills for Get Right in that pistol.
Okay, then, and even, what's that? Friberg
That's
in the back line?
Man. Too loud, hold on.
Friberg, I think, in the back line is just yelling a little bit. That's pretty cool. That's something we don't hear. I mean, if I had to criticize Swedish Counter-Strike, which you don't generally like doing because they're pretty good at it, I would say that they could have a little bit more, you know, that sort of that emotion, that flair in there. I'd like that.
You got to be careful about that, you know. NA style, you make a lot of noise, but once things start to go against you, that can also work against you. Your confidence is going to get wrecked. Just like, you know, JW and Dennis got wrecked in mid right there, trying to push in aggressive, trying to pull a fast one on NiP. NiP having none of it. They managed to hold on to it, and now, well, it's looking pretty good here for the Swedes going on to the B side, although olofmeister, he's going to get revenge for the last round, at least trade 1-for-1 with Forest.
KRIMZ and flusha, 2 versus 4 at the moment, and flusha covering the high ground. Well, actually, they both are. This is the kind of round where all they should be able to accomplish here is some exit frags, maybe, or they could decide to save their armor and pistols if they really wanted to have more of a chance next round. I guess, for now, they're just trying to place some sort of relatively safe positions here, looking for a little bit of damage.
Nice shot, Get Right. He's getting warmed up, he's getting toasty. 2 kills for him again. 1 was the trade going in, but that was a nice little headshot there. Just the timing to get it right with that AK, and they will find a way out of this situation in NiP. First thing you do, get onto the site. Second thing, once you got that bomb down, you start looking for the way out to be able to save your guns. And NiP looks like they'll be able to keep everybody alive here. friberg just needs to back off at the right time, and he's going to do so. No chance at all for some kind of, like, you know, Sparkles magic sort of play. So, well, you hear friberg talking a lot.
Yeah, well,
mad clicking.
Which is the mechanical keyboards. And again, we're getting a thumbs up as well from Get Right. You're right, he is feeling in the zone, which is very good news. I think if NiP want to stand a chance of this, then on the one hand, it's got to be Get Right. On the other hand, it's going to have to be Forest. I think those 2 players are the key ones to really step it up here. This time, only armor on KRIMZ and friberg with a map1, as well as allu. They might as well be the sort of front runners in a round like this and try and get a lot of information. So already mid-control, Molotov at the back of Checkered, seeing if anyone is there, which nobody is. flusha revealing himself as well. Good smokes coming in from outside of the B bomb site. Fnatic, well, they've got everyone sort of racked in towards the bomb site, but it's very hard for them to hold on anyway. Forest with a good double, and flusha and JW are left now.
Wow, Forest. Okay, there we go. JW gone. And, well, things going pretty much according to plan here for NiP. Nothing really big to talk about. NiP are just going to rinse and repeat and go for what is now becoming more of a standard strategy, which is just go crashing into them when you know they're a hard eco. You're just going to roll over them. You're going to make some money with those Mac-10s. You're just going to get the round over quick and bully your opponents. That's what you're looking to do. That's why NiP, CT side, T side, if they know it's a hard eco they're facing, a lot of the time they will go ultra aggressive just to mess with their opponent's heads. It's a little bit of that, you know, psychological game getting played. The smoke is there to set up, and Olof down at the B halls very quickly, and this time he wins the duel. He takes out Get Right to start.
Yeah, throws a bit of a pop flash out so he can actually cross back over again without getting damaged too much. And grenades going back into the B bomb site, softening off olofmeister a little bit here. You see Forest setting up for a bit of Molotov in there, and friberg is somewhere as well. I think he's got the second Molotov that they're supposed to throw in. So if they can double grenade on that B site, that means there's a lot less bomb site that they have to clear, and they can focus on the rest of the angles in there. So that's really good, even if you don't necessarily kill anyone with a Molotov. I mean, that's rare, or even do a lot of damage. Just the fact that you don't have to check certain corners is very helpful.
It makes it so you can just streamline that push onto the site. And, well, it looks like NiP, they're trying to keep Fnatic guessing, but it is going to go back towards the B site. They made a little bit of noise in mid. They left allu behind to just act as a distraction. He's trying to put some damage in there, keep these guys steady, but Fnatic get the accurate read. They're going to have 3 players on this B site before NiP can actually get in. So the defense is going to be stiff. NiP, they've got some tough work ahead of them here, but if Xizt can actually start off with a headshot, that's not going to be too bad.
Oh, and olofmeister in a very bad corner here. He's going to get the 1 kill, but it's so hard to get more than a trade when you're in there. I mean, you don't have any space to move, and he ends up going down. Now, a good kill from JW here. Allu and Forest are left, and they've got the crossfire set up here. Bomb is planted in the corner right now for Allu, so if he can just stay alive here, and Forest can buy time, that's all they need to do here. Time is the only thing that matters right now for NiP. Forest trying to see if he can challenge early on. Gonna drop Dennis. Allu goes down. That's a big kill coming in from JW. 1 versus 1 now, and JW's already got the double. So is Forest, and he's gonna land that headshot, clutch the round, make it a triple. And you hear them shouting there as well. NiP, they're not usually like this, are they?
No, man. That's where you start to wonder a little bit, though. It is a little scary because they've always been so calm, even in the clutch rounds. Only Get Right usually shows the emotion. friberg as well a little bit, but in general, what we've known from them in the past has always been this, this cool reserve. They're here, they're getting their job done, and then they get a little hype at the end of it, right? When they can release that pressure on themselves. So, still, don't want them to get too hyped. Want them to still keep a grip on the situation, focus, and get the job done. Because yes, they are up 4-0 right now. This is a fantastic start. But Fnatic are always a threat, so you cannot let your guard down and get too comfortable. Nice little play here by Dennis, though. Darts forward and even gets out of there. It's JW who gets taken out instead.
Right, but they've taken a lot of damage inside there, and it's going to be easy for friberg to pick up a couple of kills. Forest with a headshot on flusha as well, and olofmeister, the last left here, in a 1-on-4. So, yeah, only Xizt going down, and NiP about to be 5-0. And this is an interesting turn of events. Allu hasn't even killed anybody yet, but if you look at the other team, flusha with 0-1 on Dennis and KRIMZ as well. Kind of a slow start here for the Fnatic team. Bomb obviously going to be exploding. olofmeister, I think he was hoping to flank around and maybe catch some of them coming out there. That wasn't going to be the case, so we've got to wonder what plays for Fnatic here. Are we going to see some sort of AWP setup, or maybe even a double-up setup at some point?
Double op, I wouldn't be surprised. They have 4 oppers on the team pretty much, so pick and choose. It's a similar situation to TSM. Dennis very capable with that AWP, flusha as well, and then of course you have like the primary oppers, JW and olofmeister, and fancy that. They are going to be the ones going for the AWP, so you'll have 1 on each side basically. olofmeister taking it straight over to the B halls, where he's hoping to run into Get Right again, and JW going over for just a little bit of a fight in mid there to challenge in case Allu, his counterpart basically on the NiP team, would go for the sniper fight.
See, Bomb is dropped back here, and not really a lot of presence at Squeak, and not so much main either. So if Fnatic were playing aggressive on that side of the map, it could be a bit of an interesting scenario. Right now, Fnatic don't have a lot of information. They're playing this one very passively, which you are sort of prone to doing when you have the double-up setup. It's a little bit risky to try and throw too much away there, but that means NiP could potentially throw some fakes or just get into position for a really good execute here. olofmeister, good shot on Get Right. And that's going to be a perfect start. Now they could really afford to play it safe.
Yeah, exactly. Now this is when the real strength gets shown of a double AWP. Yes, you get that first pick, and now you can just sit back, and you're perfectly content to do that because you're holding onto these angles. JW gets spotted, and he will get the shot onto Xizt. Not the target he was looking for. Allu is still alive in mid, but he'll take that just fine. 2-man advantage now for Fnatic, and they've even pushed into A main as well to get the info. They spot nobody here for NiP, and so you already see the rotation coming out from JW now towards that B site. Fnatic so good at setting up that info and playing off of it.
Well, JW here, smoke is going to go up as well. He does see the gun barrel before it does. Forest with a good shot on flusha, and olofmeister will go down. That's one of the AWPs lost here again. It's just 2 people left for NiP now. Allu going to be alone. He's on the site, 7 seconds left, and JW, he's going to survive the round as well. 3 health left and a triple kill on him. Very, very good round there for JW, and I think an important one, confidence-wise as well. For the Fnatic team, I think they must have been able to save both the AWPs, so that's really what. Oh, wait, Olof, it must be on the ground somewhere, surely.
Yeah.
They were nearby. What?
Why wouldn't they save it?
That almost seems like it's a call then. Maybe Olaf said, I can't hit my shots with the AWP, I'm not going to do it.
Or I don't want it, even though he got the opening frag of the round with the AWP and a nice shot on Get Right, so interesting.
Nice Molotov.
That's an interesting turn of events. I mean, rifle works out just fine as well. I'm still concerned with just how low they are on the nades, Fnatic. And this is looking like it wants to be a very quick round here from NiP. And again, they've been so good about picking up these rounds, or at least bringing it back to get onto a site. NiP and Forest is going to find Dennis. That's to start things off. All the smokes just going down to block off the vision here for the defense. And it's going to be Xizt holding right on the other side. But of course, JW doing JW things. Misses the point-blank shot. Gets the no-scope mid-air on friberg, but that's not good enough. It's a 2-on-3 now, and now a 1-on-3. KRIMZ, the last man alive on Speedway here. If he hits that shot though, JW, how does he not manage it? He could have actually like meleeed him, like impaled him with the op, and it would have worked better.
Yeah, stabbed him with it. You're absolutely right. The AWP javelin. Yeah, that would have been interesting. I've got to say, I don't. You know, the problem is we could say like we did earlier, we could say like 1.6 freeze, which it kind of looks like freeze is on his way back, which is super exciting and super cool. Problem is, if you say 1.6 forest, the level that he played at in 1.6 was so high. But honestly, if you look at the way that Forest is playing out, there are some very, very subtle clues. It's like when you knew at some point in Global Offensive that Neo was coming back as a player, and the way you could tell was by like very small movement cues. You understood now that Neo has a very good like understanding of the game. He's got it in his bones. When you see Forest playing right now, there is like a weird level of confidence. Like you can just tell that Forest is like he's starting to take this very seriously again, you can tell. Good trade here early on. KRIMZ and GetRight are both going to be going down. Actually, they kill each other, which is interesting. Dennis is going to be going for a bit of a shot there with the Xizt 75. He's trapped as well, and he goes down to Forest. And that's going to be now 4 versus 3 here, and olofmeister to be dropped as well. And flusha and JW are going to be left, and not a lot they could do here. So just kind of a clean-up round. So just to go on sort of a bit of a trip here as well. I feel like what's really interesting, obviously, a huge sort of part of the CS:GO viewership population will have only sort of joined us in the past year or something.
Year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half, which is super cool. And obviously the growth has been explosive. But it almost feels like a lot of people then will never have had a chance to see what Forest and GetRight are really like, you know? Which is so strange. Like, how could you ever be in a position to say that? But actually, that statement is probably somewhat true, right? There's been maybe glimpses, but it's not really been happening.
That's what's so exciting about seeing this strong start from them. If they could, I mean, like friberg said, you know, if you can end the year strong, have like a big win, maybe, you know, it's not a major, sure, but still, you're able to pick up a tournament right at the end of the line before the holidays. That would be sick, because for the longest time, NiP, they were the dominant force, just untouchable in CS:GO at the beginning of the game. It was always the case where you would just think, oh, even if they're down 10 rounds, they'll still make it back. They'll still win this map. And sure enough, they would. Wow. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since we've seen that. It's also been a long time that since Fnatic have seen a full set of nades on anybody. So it's a bit of a rough situation for them. They're constantly having to force up and do it the hard way, which is straight up man-fight it with the rifles.
And that works initially, but now they're in a really weird spot here. Forest going for the fight against JW and almost does enough damage. friberg, though, going to pick up that kill. And KRIMZ and Dennis going to be, well, flanking the bomb site. They're sort of sandwiching the bomb site here, but the problem is they're a man down, and the bomb is about to be dropped inside. They don't have a kid picked up. It's a very bad situation for Fnatic.
It's not looking too healthy. This is where you actually start to, unless they can get a kill within the next 5 seconds, they need to start thinking about backing off to save these guns. But at the same time, you can understand why they do not want to give this up. There's the first shot. It's a trade. KRIMZ manages to pick up one, but allu shuts down Dennis. And yeah, KRIMZ just navigates it so that he can get out of here in one piece.
Yeah.
He's going to have that AK to save, but that is it. allu and friberg should be able to live through this. I mean, you can, okay, you can always say the super smart play is basically just sit back, hold onto your guns, plan on, you know, doing some damage in the next round, right? But Fnatic are also looking at this saying, well, now they're up to 8 rounds. We need to do some damage at some point here, and sometimes you have to take a risk. Sometimes it's worth the gamble. So they tried to force it there, essentially.
Yeah, and it even started off well enough for Fnatic. I mean, they wanted to go for the aggressive B push, which they did. They traded effectively, but as soon as they do that, I think the problem is NiP is so fast with pushing in through vents, right? That follow-up to the initial trade is so quick that Fnatic actually get caught off guard here. So, I mean, props to NiP for playing that speedily. Now we're going to be at, right, 8-1. What is going on?
Well, it's like Forest and GetRight, man. They're just doing damage at this point. Forest in particular. it's good that you're pointing out, I mean, just how much of a legend he was in 1.6. Yes, seen as one of the best players of all time. But,
Yeah.
you know, to be able to see that glimmer of that here for NiP, that's uplifting if you're an NiP fan, at least versus Fnatic. And it's also showing that Fnatic are mortal. You know, they have had a strong start since the roster change, but it's always been a shaky. It's always been coming down to clutch rounds, big individual performances from the likes of olofmeister.
Well, what is so strange, isn't it, that Forrest is one of those players who's almost unique in his sort of ability to just come back and sort of pick up the game at almost at any point, right? So I don't think Forrest has ever really had too much to like put a lot of effort into the game. Maybe the long slump that NiP have been in has, you know, sort of woken up Forrest from his hibernation.
There it is. Let's see if he gets it right.
Right,
He's talking about this smoke before.
This smoke is meant to land in main, and yeah, it doesn't get it quite. It's meant to land in the main entrance there, so it's a very cool idea. Get right. I literally just talked to him about it before the game, and it definitely is a nice touch. But it is like a pixel kind of smoke, so
that's what he's talking about. He says if you're off just a pixel, but then it's also like a multi-layered smoke. He's like, even if you miss it, it can still be useful. So it's always good to attempt it, but obviously you want to be getting it right. So the way that he describes it, it sounds like a really strong smoke blocking off CT.
Yeah, I can definitely understand the value of it, especially because you're very much not committed at that point. So you could also be used as a fake later on if you really wanted to. Definitely a good idea. Good creative play. I like it.
I wish friberg would go and actually find KRIMZ right now just to complete this, right? Everybody has a frag on NiP.
Oh, yeah.
Except for friberg, poor guy.
flusha still has not got a single kill here, which is not cool. I didn't see who was at the bottom of the scoreboard either, but he also had just a 1 kill. So
0 to 10, yeah. They're off to, well, I mean, the other thing is that Forrest is sitting on like 15-3-6 or something. So I mean, just seems like Forrest is doing a lot of the opening work here for NiP in these rounds. And his teammates are there to back him up, but then, you know, there isn't a whole lot for allu to do. You know, it's not like he's dying a lot either. It's just he hasn't really seen much of the action. It's a little bit slower getting around with that AWP. And, well, there you go. He manages to catch KRIMZ going for an aggressive peek in A main. And so the Finn manages to pick up 1 kill. Again, NiP. It feels like nearly every round they're actually winning the initial duel and giving themselves a man advantage to work with, which is just fantastic when you're talking, you know, T side, Cash, you need to get in there, you need to get some work done.
yeah. Oh,
Missed it.
That's
awkward.
How can you even fail that boost? I'm not sure. Yeah, but you're right. The excellent entry frags here from NiP obviously carrying them quite a long way at the moment, and this is one of those starts that it really shouldn't be happening. It's a bit SK and TSM all over again, isn't it? Definitely surprising.
It's the day of the underdogs. I mean,
Maybe.
this is what you get when you have these derbies, right? Dennis there to start, not going to manage to follow up. allu with his 2nd frag of the round shuts him down, and that opens up the A site. Smoke will go down, and allu with the 3rd kill, catching out the rotator. And he's even in position to take a chunk out of flusha as well. But there we go. flusha gets onto the board. He actually manages to trade up effectively, and it's now a man advantage here holding for NiP. But they've got that triangle of doom, Anders. It's going to be so tough for olofmeister to get in here and get the job done. But he gets a flash off, manages to pick up 1, a 2nd, and now it comes down to Forrest. The man who's leading the way for NiP. He's got his AWP. He's got a superior position as well, and he will find the shot in the end. Olof, just too many angles to worry about there going onto that site.
Great read from Forrest as well. I mean, just very, very smart play. Olaf, though, I mean, it was a bit of a god-tier flashbang that opened it up for olofmeister to get the 1st kill as well. Wasn't enough, though, and this is simply disastrous. I mean, this first map could be done with very quickly if we keep going at this rate. Double up set up again here for NiP with flusha, and then a lot of FAMAS. Even a C set here on JW. They don't have the money right now. allu in the middle, gonna miss the shot though, but Xizt there to follow it up, and a grenade right on JW as well with a follow-up AK. It's gonna get him killed.
That's so, like, your heart drops as well if you're JW at that point, because Xizt hears that. He hears that the nade hit something in the smoke, and so he's just like, I know the angle I threw that nade at. You're a dead man. No getting away. But as far as this is concerned, again, though, and I mean, one thing is that Fnatic are pretty good at getting people in position to deal with these pushes. Now it just comes down to winning these duels, because, again, NiP heading towards that A site. Fnatic in position to deal with this. 1-for-1 trade, though. Get Right takes out KRIMZ, who is playing from yellow, and now there's going to be 3 guys going on to this site, and it's only flusha here with the AWP and 9 points of health. Soon reduced to 0.
And just the fact that they managed to put in the grenade, I mean, onto flusha, that meant he was going to be that low either way. Get Right and allu are going to be left here, and allu to shut it down. the double kill, making it 11-1. So, yeah, this first half going horribly for the Fnatic team.
Yeah, there it is, the example. It just dinks in, it does 2 points of damage, and then Xizt knows exactly where JW is playing from. Glad to see, well, I mean, it's glad. What can you do? JW, he has a Xizt, he has to get up close, he has to go for something funky. Now they're trying to change it up. Okay, Fnatic, it's just going to be straight up challenge into the B halls and get Right's in position for this. He's ready. If he's patient, he sees 1, 2, 3, tags one up. At least manages to trade it 1 for 1 as they try and push in here. Fnatic actually going for the ultra aggression, but NiP, they're still holding their own. They're still making sure that the backstab can't come in here from their Swedish opponents.
Xizt currently trying to see if he could jump up. He wants to look up at the balcony up there, see if he can spot anybody out, but he is still the only one who's far forward here. They don't really have to commit to this yet, NiP. They've got plenty of time as well. We're going to see if they're going to be able to do it or not.
All right.
Well, KRIMZ, oh. Going for the shot, and he's going to end up going down. A little bit of an audio issue here. Forest is going to be getting the kill there on olofmeister, and flusha to go down next. And Fnatic, it seems like whatever they do, they just do not stand a chance of coming out on top here. So now 3-on-1, and I mean, it's the sort of round that, at this point, he kind of has to go for it. Saving the FAMAS is not really that big of a victory.
AK, perhaps, but then they even read the situation perfectly. Forest already has that smoke down to block off vents. Nothing going Dennis's way. Now that's the main issue here. The main issue to take away from this is that, yes, Fnatic are very effective so far with getting the calls right, as far as, you know, where they need to position themselves, where NiP are going. But when it comes to actually winning the duels, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty bit, where you actually just have to keep NiP from getting onto that site by getting the frags, by killing NiP off, Fnatic are falling short. So that's a little frustrating when, you know, this is a clear example of, you know, you can have all the strats, you can have the reads, but if you're not getting the kills, it really doesn't come down to much. You're actually just making it easier for NiP, because then they're just going to actually wipe out half the team whenever they take a site, and it's donezo.
Dennis here, trying to save the AK. Looks like he's going to be successful, but I mean, so I had this conversation with JW literally just before when we were watching SK and TSM play, and he said, yeah, it is hard when you're the better team and you're playing a team that has everything to win, and from sort of your point of view, you have very little, right? And even though you know you're supposed to be sort of really energized, you might not always be, and I guess Fnatic might be feeling a little bit of something similar here. NiP right now, without a doubt, the underdog team.
Oh, buddy, well, flash, ineffective. Does he get his gift here, allu? Very calmly holding for JW to take that peek, and olofmeister's going to get the timing perfect here. Yep, friberg, he still gets the kill on JW, though. So olofmeister, unfortunately for him, he's just a half second too late to really have an impact there, save his teammate. Instead, he's going to get caught out by GetRight as he tries to push into B halls, and this is just falling apart again here for Fnatic, who are clearly feeling the pressure at this point. They desperately need to get at least one more round out of this half, just have a little bit of a buffer going into the next one. But it's not really being given to them very easily here. NiP, they still hold calm. They're waiting again to see if there are going to be any crazy pushes coming out here from Fnatic, who are going to be desperate, who are going to be trying to take a risk. And such as this, you know, push into mid, get the info. Well, unfortunately, allu's there with the AWP, and he just drops down and spots Dennis as well. He knew 2 players were there, and it really just isn't working for Fnatic at all.
That was a very smart play from allu, but it must have been hugely frustrating for Fnatic, because Dennis, who was the first guy in middle, and actually flusha is going to go down here. Dennis, who was the first guy in middle, he spots that vent first, doesn't see anyone and walks on, and just as he does, allu sees him, then the next player comes in, and obviously he's just been told by Dennis, there's nobody there, don't worry. And then they get killed from that position, and allu even gets the follow-up shot. That was just a very impressive and very, unfortunate timing for Fnatic. We're going to go into the last round of the half here, and I don't even know what to say at this point. 13-1, and GetRight with a very safe position all the way back there, expecting an aggressive Fnatic push, which might be coming.
Might be, exactly. Forest is waiting outside at Squeak as well, just in case. Yep, in case somebody was going to go and try for some kind of push in here for some intel. NiP again consent to sit and wait, although Although there was a rotation coming out there from Fnatic. Both players came off of that B side, olofmeister included. He decides to come back, but for a second there, Fnatic, they clearly thought it was going to be an A-site play or some kind of A-site push coming in quickly. Now they decide to flash Dennis into A main to get that info, but allu's ready and waiting. friberg takes out flusha. And again, just all of the duels are going NiP's way, apart from KRIMZ here, who gets the drop on Forest, and he gets the follow-up as well on Xizt.
Not bad, but he's very low on health. They've got a lot of grenades as well. They don't even need them. Allu going to be taking down one there, and Olof now alone. 1-on-3 with a P90 as well. I mean, he's got plenty of bullets for this one, but that's about it. Allu going to shut him down, and that will be the round. And also the half heavily in favor of NiP.
14-1.
What is this nonsense today?
I mean, it's just Fnatic. I think they had one round where they had the double op. They were able to have that money to go for the double op, and even then they were a little light on nades. They never had full nades, full kits, full gear basically, where they were able to get just a little bit of bank under them. They got that one round win, and then NiP just sideswiped them again, took them out, took the legs out from under them. They never had the money for a full buy after that. And so NiP's job was always easy. So long as they kept getting these wins, if you're constantly having to force up with 3,400, you're really not going to have a lot to work with. So, again, just about as perfect as it gets. Obviously, it's not a 15-0, but as perfect as it gets as far as controlling their opponent's economy from NiP. Vugo's just looking depressed.
That's a good picture to sum it up. The what are my troops doing look. It's way past the too many gummy bears look. I don't even know what to say. So at the end of the first half, we have pretty much a wrecked and destroyed Fnatic team. We have Forest looking completely on fire at the moment with 18 kills at the end of it. We could be seeing a very, very fast cash map here. I mean, it's a best of 3 game, so it could change around. It certainly did in the Danish matchup, but still, you've got to be a little bit intrigued by what's happening here.
I have to pause and wonder a little bit. What do Fnatic have in store? There's their single nade used. 4 Kevlar left. Nobody turned into a raid boss either. Instead, it's just going to be a straight bum rush into mid onto the A side. Xizt just hoping to get lucky through that smoke. Not going to find the headshot, but he does spot one man close, and that opens it up for a 1-for-1 trade here. flusha takes out Get Right, but allu also found the headshot on olofmeister.
One allu going to be going down. Nice push into mid. I love that play here from Fnatic. Not the most typical route you take into any bomb site. Forest is too many targets here. It's not even one of those positions where you could have been expected to get a couple of headshots. They're just too fast and too close. friberg and Xizt left here trying to see if they could do something, but at this point might even be worth it to save the kit and the armor here.
Yeah. Oh, nice pre-fire shot there by flusha, and Xizt not going to get much luck either. That was perfect from Fnatic. That's the kind of like this. It's also that kind of twisted read, right? That tricky, just shifty mind. flusha making that call, making that adjustment, realizing it wasn't going to work. A smoke was blocking off top of Speedway, so if they tried to push through it onto the A site, they were just done for. They were going to get picked off. And so a very quick mid-round call there, just saying, okay, shift up the strategy, go into CT instead, and see what we can find there. That was really well done. A great on-the-fly call. And JW even in position to just take the heels out from under friberg. Take his life, maybe? No, friberg lives at 2 HP. That's going to be frustrating for JW.
Yeah, very much so. That was a smart position anyway, but Dennis taking down one grenade on friberg there from KRIMZ. I think friberg was in checkered and ended up going down. That was a smart communication as well, I think, from the Fnatic side. Going to buy them a bit of a chance here. I mean, the problem now, Semler, is obviously this comeback. It would be like one of the most epic comebacks, but it's just so far away, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still way too early. But we're talking about NiP, how they used to have incredible comebacks. Even at this sort of situation, you could always just have a glimmer, of hope for NiP that they would be able to bring it back, and sure enough, they would. Yeah, Fnatic are capable. Fnatic certainly are capable. That'd be a little ironic if it were to happen to NiP, but I think they're past that now, and it is going to be the straight push. olofmeister takes out Forest. Nice headshot on the Get right there from flusha. And the last man alive, Xizt, who was left on that A site to mind it. He's going to get, just hope to get in position to catch somebody out.
Or maybe do some parkour in the meantime. Would have been nice.
Hard jump to hit that. Hard jump.
It really is. You've got to be experienced. Well, Easy shot there. olofmeister was practically bleeding out anyway, so, you know, maybe almost like a mercy killing at that point, I think.
This is the Mac 10. So it's like, it works out perfectly as well. It's like, he died. Well, you know, we don't really care. He didn't invest anything in this round. A couple $1,000 bucks.
That would have been a good kill. I mean, the money he could have got from that would have definitely helped out, but not going to be the case. So Fnatic get to live for another round at least, and I don't think NiP will have quite the economy yet to put anything too interesting together here. So a bit of a breathing room for the Swedish team, or for the Fnatic team, and then before we get a real chance to see what they can do, I do love the fact they bought a single flashbang. NiP, well played.
Should we just call Swedes, you know, like NiP the Finnish team now, just to make it easier for us, because you know they have allu.
Only if you want to get killed in the streets.
Heaton's here too, actually. He might get the job done personally.
Exactly. You gotta be really careful with that. Just another way to become really unpopular somewhere is to, you know, you can try and criticize the hockey teams if you want to. That leads to bad things too. Don't go there. Dennis is going to pick up a couple of kills with the P90. KRIMZ with a couple at the AK. Good to see that Fnatic are starting to get, you know, sort of kill-wise, at least get back on the board. If nothing else, just for the next map, to feel that you're a little bit warmed up. You know, it's one thing to lose the first map, even if it is like a big loss, but still, it's if you never even get a chance to warm up, then you know how are you gonna play the next map?
You have to wonder if that's how it worked for SK as well, right? They got trounced on train, but they still got 9 rounds out of it, rather than it just being a 13 or 16-2 stomp or something. They were able to fight back, get a little bit of confidence going into Mirage. There we go, hit the ground running, not just with cold feet. So, sure, if Fnatic can actually at least destabilize NiP or try and plant the seed of doubt, you know, just make him a little less confident going into that second map, just a little crack, you know, and then flusha, he'll find that, exploit it, and well, then unleash olofmeister on you, and bad things happen. But there's a nice smoke actually to block off top speedway. Again, set up. And well, now for allu, it comes down to him just spotting out that info, and he will get 1 kill, but he shouldn't overextend on this. Does not want to leave himself too vulnerable. He turns away, pre-fire there, and olofmeister's going to be able to pick up the kill.
Nice job and a good headshot there from KRIMZ. Get right. Almost looked like he walked into that shot. And now they've got perfect mid-control here on the Fnatic team. They've also got a 2-for-1 trade. So I don't mind that they're playing it a little bit slowly here to see if NiP are going to make any kind of mistakes. They don't really know. I mean, because everybody's in the middle, nobody knows if anyone's pushing the extremities of the map. So they at least got to respect the fact that NiP could be making a counterplay and pushing somewhere. So, you know, slowing it down makes sense.
Yeah, there we go. Movement spotted. Not a good flash, and Xizt not going to be able to take advantage of that. He gets picked off. friberg is there, though, and he gets 2. 2-for-1, and the quick rotation coming out now from Forest. No kit on him picked up, but he can still do this because olofmeister's low on HP. KRIMZ is tagged. They have the crossfire set up, though. And olofmeister, I do believe, yep, he spotted Forest. And Forest realized he sees something's up.
That was a great delayed reaction for us as well. Like, wait a minute. Nice jump. Look at them. That's what I'm talking about. It's all in the details. You can tell when people really sort of have this game inside them now. Forest pushing closer. No kit still, and he walks right into that headshot. KRIMZ with a nice triple kill in the round. But you're right. You see that?
It's so liquid, you know? It's just so smooth.
Those are the details that I try and look for whenever I look for like someone who's sort of, you can tell that they're starting to get back in the game and they're really serious about it.
Well, because that sort of movement was like, not common, obviously, but like when 1.6, that was what everybody was always talking about, right? Neo and Forest, they just had these unique ways of moving around the map, and Neo in particular is the poster boy of that movement. So, yeah, just to see that from Forest, guy's an excellent surfer as well. So I mean, there you go.
That is true. Him and friberg, I think, are there like they do it a fair bit, don't they? Well, now it's back to pistols, no armor, and they are upgraded pistols, but I'm not sure it's going to make a big difference here. Get right trying to play at the edge of the smoke. It is a kind of a nice position, but there's a lot of targets right in front of him, and trying to see if he can kill JW. Almost successful, down to 12 health. It's not going to be quite enough, though. allu will get a shot on flusha, and Xizt and allu going to be left now. I mean, it's going in the right direction for Fnatic, but one misstep, and you know NiP are going to be right back in this.
This nastiness as well from JW. A little sloppy, but he still gets the job done with the backstab on allu. And now it just kind of leaves Xizt in a bit of an awkward spot. He will get the double headshot onto olofmeister. So still making it a little bit more expensive here for Fnatic. JW with a sigh of relief there when he fumbled the first shot. I'm pretty sure he's thinking, crap, I'm dead now. allu wasn't able to capitalize.
Yeah, you don't want to give that away, do you? Oh, what are we going to see? 6-14, double AWP now on NiP, like they did on the terrorist side. And it is allu and f0rest once again. So we're going to see on the Fnatic side, it's flusha. He did maybe spawn close to the middle. I'm guessing that's it. And he takes down friberg. I don't think otherwise he would have probably picked up the AWP.
What in the Sam hell was friberg doing there? Allu is going to find a refrag on olofmeister. So it does work out in the end here for NiP. They do manage to bring it back to a 4-on-4. Still, the situation favors for
flusha. Try the wallbang. That makes me proud, though. JW going to end up going down. No luck in the middle, but it is a wallbang that's possible to hit. Exactly where Xizt was standing right there. That's where you're going to be hitting. I'm going to thank flusha later on for that. allu looking from main in towards the stairwell down here at the end. Pretty good angle, and almost probably should have got a kill then. That looked like it was dead on, but counter grenades coming out as well. 50 seconds left here, and Xizt flanking, taking out one, and could have probably waited if he had. That would have been really annoying to Fnatic. Instead, he pushes up and actually goes down.
And now it's all on f0rest. He's going to get his moment here. Easy shot onto KRIMZ, and that's going to really throw Fnatic for a loop here. Now, where do they want to go? Is he going to actually manage to thread the needle here? allu's going to be close enough to hear the steps. Should be an easy shot for him. He has no idea. There it is. Perfectly done. Didn't know if Dennis was going to try and pause for a moment to watch connector, but it works out just fine for the Fen. And while that's basically putting NiP, at least now they've actually got a little bit of breathing room, even with the rough start. But that's now match point. Exactly. I mean, Fnatic just had no room for error. They couldn't afford to give up a single round. Now, NiP, they've guaranteed at least overtime.
Yeah, and it have to be like, what, 9 rounds in a row for Fnatic here without a single mistake. I don't see that happening at this point. NiP are looking very good, but you've got to say this at least. They've cooled down since the sort of insane first half here. So if nothing else, Fnatic have sort of managed to sort of slow them down a bit. So even if they lose this map, then there's a bit of a break as well, and then you have a new map. That might be enough for Fnatic to sort of, wake themselves up, and also for NiP to slow down just a little bit more. And so I wouldn't say that it's necessarily sort of predestined that NiP is going to sort of continue on this path for 2 maps straight. olofmeister with a good opening in the middle to take down allu as well.
Just peeking. Need to do it a little bit here. Now f0rest, he knows he's going to get smoked off. At least one person playing over in the B halls here for Fnatic, but that prompts an instant rotation from GetRight. And I think, again, they want to see exactly if they can try and get some info. Because, yeah, friberg's holding here from short towards vents, but they don't really have any info from garage or boost. So it's kind of what they're hoping for. And Xizt is in a bit of a tricky spot as well, so they can afford to leave him here alone, it looks like.
Yeah, the problem is right now, if there's somebody else on the bomb side sort of distracting everyone, then Xizt is going to be in a good position. But right now, nobody else is going to be shooting except for Xizt. He does take down one, goes for a second. He's actually successful. Goes for the triple. Not quite going to make it. friberg there comes out of a highway just in time to get that frag. And JW pushing in almost drops as well. He's on 1 health. And f0rest getting a little bit closer. 7 seconds left. Charging through. Bomb is gone down. GetRight's going to be falling to JW, who's now on the bomb again. Still 1 health left here. f0rest on the other side. If he realized, yeah, he does. I think he's got the pistol out instead.
Yes, he does. It's been communicated by friberg. This should be easily done. There we go. f0rest. All you got to do is hit 1 shot. And that's going to be the first map going NiP's way here. A clutch from f0rest. 20 frags. A nice round number for him to start things off for the NiP team here in this first map of this best of 3.
Wow.
Upper bracket match as well. So the win